Good afternoon, collector. Welcome. We have lots of things to talk about this afternoon. We have several different pots we're going to be filling, so let's start with the first thing. First, I want to talk about our virtual signing event that we had last time with Scott Enter. And we were thrilled with the event. Scott was thrilled with the event. You collectors were thrilled with the event. I was thrilled with the event. The computer, not so thrilled with the event. We had some major problems behind the scenes that really, it's like some little gremlin got into our computer and just refused to cooperate with us. So we have caused us to cancel future virtual signing events. So we do really apologize for that. The computer, they're sensitive things, and we're going to try to figure it out. If we can get it figured out and can do it in the future, we certainly will. But right now we've had to suspend those for the time being, and we're really sorry about that because we were really looking forward to this, and we had a lot of people who bought pieces online. But be assured, if you ordered one of the pieces, Scott signed them all. We got them all back to the warehouse. They are right now in the process of being picked and packed, so you will be getting them. Remember last time we said that it would take probably 3 to 4 weeks for everyone to get their order, so that is still the case, and they will be coming out to you. If you have any problems, do send an email to customerservice@department56.com and we'll look into your order. But we have no doubt that because they're going to be hand-picked and hand-packed, we will get those out to you in plenty of time for Halloween. So that's the story on our virtual signing event. So we do want to thank Scott for being with us last time, and he'll come back and he'll talk about Snow Village again in the future, as some of our other artists will come and talk about their particular villages, but no virtual signing events right now. Boo-hoo, sorry about that. The next thing I want to talk about is our Halloween vignette contest. Remember, I think it was about 2 months ago, we announced that we were going to do a Halloween vignette contest. And we have a winner. No, we actually have 3 winners. And I have pictures of all of them, and it's really not very easy to see these pictures. So what I have done, once this Facebook session is over with, I will have 3 Facebook postings coming on. I think they start at 5 o'clock, and then the next one will come up, and then the next one will come up. There will be a Facebook posting for each one of the winners with a nice big clear picture of each of their entries. But I did want to tell you who won and where they were all from. And we really have a nice variety of people from all over the United States and in Canada. So 3rd place, and it was really, really tough. I got to tell you, it was really tough. We looked at them, we sorted through them. We had a few that didn't follow the rules quite accurately. You had to use a current Halloween piece, and then you could use any accessories that you wanted to, including things that you made yourself. So here are the winners. In 3rd place, we've got Cheryl Crossland from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. She used the cemetery house in her display, and she's got it on what looks like a piece of tree, like the cross section of a piece of tree, and that worked out really, really nicely. And then she's got a really nice display kind of a backdrop, and that was really different. So that's Cheryl. Congratulations, Cheryl. 2nd place, we'll go up to Canada. Martha Jack from Collingwood, Ontario, did this really neat display. Cheryl's was using the cemetery house. Martha used the Celia's Cellar, which is the new wine press piece for the Witch's Hollow. And Martha told us in her little story that the base that the wine cellar is sitting on is a ceramic piece that she made, and then she used a lot of little wine corks around the base, and then you can't really see it from here, but she cut wine corks in half for the stairs. That's a lot of wine, Martha. Good job. So Martha from Canada, and our 1st place winner goes to Mary Jo Lawson from Florence, Kentucky. Loved this one. She really thought outside of the box, and she called hers Trunk or Treat. And you really can't see it too well from here, but she used the back end of her minivan, opened it up, and I know this has been popular in places for people to do their trick-or-treating like in a parking lot where you set up and you decorate your car and then you give out trick-or-treats like in the church parking lot and things like that, so it's nice and safe for the kids. And I think that's where Mary Jo got her idea from. But I thought this was a wonderful, very thinking outside the box kind of an idea. She also used the cemetery house. So those were our 3 winners, and we were just delighted to have them. We hope that we will be doing more contests coming up. I don't have anything to announce today, but we're working on things. So each of these gals is going to be receiving 2 animated Halloween accessories. And Mary Jo, the first place winner, will also be receiving a fiber optic Halloween sign that was personalized and signed by Scott Enter. So some really neat things coming out. And they may have already received these items either today or maybe tomorrow or the next day coming by UPS. So we wanted them to get out to our winners right away. So we had over 50 people enter, and that made the judging even harder because we tried sorting them out. We tried sorting them by what pieces they used, and it took us several hours to get it all figured out. But we had a good time doing it and just love seeing what you do, so keep it up. And again, we are going to have these pictures bigger so that you can see them, and they'll be on our Facebook postings. And let these gals know what you think of their displays. They'd love to hear your feedback. So give them some thumbs up and some support on their efforts. This is the hard part. Now, I've told you about our virtual signing events. I've told you about our Halloween display. Today marks the end of an era for Department 56. We are going to be announcing, and I've got my old notes here, not my new ones. Good. We are announcing the retirement of one of our villages. I'm really sad about this because it's my favorite village, and the village that we are going to be retiring is the New England Village. This was the second village that ever came out in what we called the porcelain, what we described back in 1986 when it was introduced as Heritage Village. Of course, the first one that came out that was a porcelain village was in 1984, and that was Dickens Village. 2 years later, we brought out New England Village, and we brought out Alpine Village. And then the following year, in 1987, we brought out Christmas in the City. So that gives you kind of a time frame of where and when this village appeared. New England Village was originally designed by Leland Lund, who also did Dickens Village, and then when he retired, his daughter Barbara took over. When Barbara retired just a couple of years ago, it was done by some of our in-house artists. It was done by Paul Lundberg and by Tom Bates. So done a wonderful job of carrying on the type of designs that New England Village is best known for. The village started out in 1986 with what we are calling the original 7, which mirrored the original 7 that we had for Dickens Village. And there was, a church and a livery stable and I think there was a fabric store and pieces like that. So we had 7 pieces that we originally brought out, and it grew slowly, like a little rural village did back in the late 19th century. And over the years, you've told us that some of your favorite pieces have been the lighthouses in these villages. And I do agree. Some of the lighthouses have been some of the iconic pieces. But there have been some really neat farm pieces, some really neat coastal pieces. And it was the village that I started in 1989 when I joined the company. So it's certainly possible, just like when we did, we've retired other villages, of course. We've retired Seasons Bay, and we retired Little Town of Bethlehem. And when we retired Little Town of Bethlehem, after it retired, and a couple years later we had some great ideas, so we brought a couple more pieces out. And that may be the same thing that happens with New England Village. If we get some ideas from you, or one of our artists comes up with a really neat idea, we may add a New England Village down the road. But like small rural New England towns, it didn't go as quickly, and it's just great the way it is, and we're just happy that it lasted as long as it did. But you know, while we're sorry to see this village go, we have to keep up with the times, and we have to keep up with what our collectors are asking for, which are more licensed pieces, more of these really great sub-series. You've gone crazy about our Halloween series and some of the sub-series within Halloween, some of the sub-series within Snow Village. So we're not slowing down by any means. It's just that this friend is not going to continue into 2021. All of the pieces that are currently in the catalog as part of New England Village will retire when we have our retirement announcement on November 6th. And you will see them all listed as part of the retirements. We wanted to give you a little heads up today, and we wanted the collectors to know about it just as soon as we're telling the retailers about it. And they're finding out about it just at the same time that you are, because we value what you have to say, and we value you, collectors of this village. So we are sorry to see this friend go, but we have to keep up with the times, I guess. So in honor of that, and also kind of to tie in with the fact that we are sorry we couldn't do any more of the virtual signing events, we have 3 sets of 3 pieces of signed New England Village pieces from this year's introductions. This is from the Martha's Vineyard series, the Gingerbread House. We have the Edgartown Boat Builder, which I think is a really neat piece, and then a lighthouse, of course. We have the Edgartown Harbor Light. These 3 pieces, these 2 were designed by Tom Bates and are signed by Tom Bates. This one was designed by Paul Lundberg and is signed by Paul Lundberg. And 3 of you who put comments on our Facebook page will get a set of 3 pieces. So you'll have, even if you're not a New England Village collector, you'll have enough to have a nice little shoreline collection to do a nice little vignette in your home. Be great for fall, great for Thanksgiving, and a nice send off this wonderful village. So we'll be selecting 3 of you and sending you an instant message as soon as this is over with. And you'll be notified that you're a lucky winner, and all you'll have to do is send me your name and address, and we'll get these out in the mail to you. Okay, let's see. Now, these pieces are still current in the line, so your retailers will still have these available, and there still is some stock for retailers. If you think you're going to want these, give your retailer a call, find out if you can still get them, because there is still some inventory that retailers can place some last-minute orders so that everyone who wants to get these final pieces for New England Village can do so. So don't hesitate, because they're going to go quick. As I said before, New England Village was the series that I started with, and I thought in honor of the end of this series, I would try my hand, and I can't hold a candle to the way you collectors do. And Rebecca's going to kind of zero in here a little bit on my display that I built, and I went and dug out the very first 2 pieces that I bought for New England Village when I started in 1989, and that was the Giannis Mullet Farmhouse and Barn. And I chose these pieces. I was just really attracted to them. I had come from living in rural Wisconsin, where we had a lot of Amish people, and I loved the barn because the barn has a lot of fieldstone on it, and I love fieldstone. In fact, so much so that I had this barn on a credenza at my house for many years, and when we built a house about 10 years later, I said we have to have fieldstone on it because I loved it so much. So I think the little lighted house inspired me to build my big lighted house. So I have this little vignette, a fall vignette of the Amish farmhouse and barn that I wanted to share with you today. And this is my village, so I'm just as sad as the rest of you about this village coming to an end. Our next Facebook Live session, can't talk today, will be October 15th, and on October 15th, I will have our creative director, Rick Jackson, as my special guest, and I kind of had to twist his arm a little bit, but Rick and I are going to give you a sneak peek of one or maybe two accessories for 2021 that are ready to go and have a little story behind them. So I thought Rick and I could chat a little bit about that and maybe how the inspiration gets from idea to the actual piece. And I know all of you have enjoyed listening to Rick in the past. So that'll be October 15th. And don't forget that November 6th is our retirement date, and that the retirements that are announced that date will be effective as of not Halloween, as of Thanksgiving, which is November 28th. So once we get to Turkey Day, then those retirement pieces will be those retirements will be effective. Till next time, it's been great talking with you. Take care. Bye-bye.